Sinuous ban. Now,
Can they stop banning it? It hasn't been played for 3 full weeks, Jnic. I'm starting a riot.
Well, what you could do is you could just play it yourself, but that's fine.
Okay, I guess I could just try to qualify for the top league.
Yeah, honestly, why aren't you just in the tournament and pick it instead?
Because the tournament needs a caster, and that's where I'm shining. Yeah. But Pool first picked by Gwen and Binks makes a lot of sense. Vortex, the answer from BDS. We also saw them dominate that map, and Control from G1. So the reason these 2 picks are coming through for G1 is that Gwen is a monster on those 2 tracks. Offie is a monster on Vortex. So that's the dynamic here. It's going to probably go both teams dominating their first picks.
So
now it's a bit more open, though. Now you go breaking, maybe?
I think BDS, well, I mean, we haven't seen them play as much as the others. I think they should go based on their skill set.
Yeah, something is the answer.
Something that's consistent that they can do.
And I think Binks and Gwen are going to favor off-road. It's just such a French map. I feel like this completes their pick and ban really well. Airwalk and Grip are still up, which are 2 maps they've shown to prefer as well. But against Offie was very good on Grip, so I'm scared of that if I'm G1 here.
I'm trying to think very hard about which maps we've seen G1 shine on, but G1 has lost against Big. They won against Alliance, but it's been so close. Like every single time we've seen G1 play, they've gone to map 7 and they haven't been like dominant at all.
Airwalk, are they hoping that Grip will be the 6th pick there? Airwalk is interesting. I didn't expect that, but
I like
they can
Airwalk,
make it work.
Though. It's a really good, and off-road picked randomly, that's also a fine map. We might, so what I just said holds true that G1 has never not gone to a map 7 so far.
Yeah.
So if they
played long games.
Yeah, but that also means that we haven't seen them dominate on anything really. So it is kind of difficult for me to kind of foresee what is going to happen on these maps. Because I think it could go either way.
There's one player I want you to pay attention to in this very first map, and that is Gwen. Gwen on Pool, out of 13 rounds he's played, he has gotten first place in 9 of them. So 9 first places out of 13 possible, and only 1 crash on the map so far. That is quite a clean record.
Yep.
Like, he will consistently drive 105.2, and he even holds the world record with a 105.1. So watch out for Gwen here. He is the guy to beat. And if Binks can join him, this could be Gamers First sweeping map 1 here.
I think that there's definitely a good chance for them to do so, but I also want to say that we saw Big and KC play this map earlier today, and even though Big has a great track record on it, the map is really consistent, so it might still be some very, very tight rounds. I think that's what Pool is going to show us. It's going to show us maps or rounds that are down to the 10th, even hundredths of a second.
And to also give you guys the stats that we do have for BDS on this map so far, you have Offie with a 105.6 average so far, and Arel with a 106.7 average. So Arel has had quite a lot of crashes on this, not really the fastest pace, but yeah, it's been a week and a lot can happen in practice.
Arel has also never won a round on this map, so I mean maybe today is the time that he can do so. He is in the bag right now, but that's still a long map to go. Not even halfway. Oh, with that being said, that's a pretty big crash. And now Afi is tasked to try to avoid Gamers First to get that ace. I mean, getting first place and making it a draw, that would be great. But anything other than an ace is important.
I can already tell you, Afi's going to have to improve his personal best, driven on the servers, a 105.3 to keep up with the 2 young French players. Because they are a team that goes for 1 stat and maxes it out, and that is pace. They just want the fastest times. They want these aces, but Gwen stumbling by himself into that obstacle, now leaving Binks alone in first, and he's almost getting challenged by Offie here. Offie having to back out of that turn, though, to not hit the wall, meaning Binks takes the round victory, but it will only be a draw as Gwen falls down into 4th.
Yeah, that's a tough mistake there from Gwen. He had a little bit too much speed, didn't get the right-hander early enough. If you full send that right-hander, you're gonna drift, right? So he had to go a little bit slowly, but that sent him right into one of those blocks, face first, planted. So,
and you might also think, why go that wide towards that obstacle? You have a lot of space on the right. The reason is you want to avoid going underwater for as much as you can. The less underwater you go, the more speed you get. That's what Gwen was trying to do by going all the way close to that one.
So it is, you know, risk reward, and G1 is definitely one of those high risk, high reward type teams.
Yeah, I mean, there was an interview from Solary where they're talking about their semifinal match last season against G1, and they go like to each other, pack. If they keep driving like this, there's nothing we can do. If they drop World X on this map, we can't compete. But if you see them crash, that's where you gotta pick your opportunity. Here again, the pace is absurd from Gwen and Binks, driving side by side, 200s apart after the entire map, left with the identity now to go. Binks keeping that first place as Gwen has slid out. Can he hold on to it? The last turn, gonna go for it early, not gonna get a lot of speed, and it looks like he will hold on to it. And with Afia with a mistake here, gonna get passed by Gwen, and that's an ace!
That is an ace. I thought that was gonna be a draw. I mean, that's really bad because Team BDS, they need to capitalize on the small mistakes that G1 does. What G1, so I think the playstyle against G1 is if they drive their maximum, you're not gonna win. But
you're just not going to win.
You're just not going to win. But they also do quite a lot of mistakes because the lines that G1 drive, they're going for basically world record or bust, right? Yep. So once they make those mistakes, you need to capitalize on it. For example, right here. And this is where BDS just needs to capitalize. They cannot throw these rounds away.
But they have gotten past one world record goal, so they need to get past both of them. Binks is still there, and he dropped a 105.33, beating Offie's best match time, and Offie just crashed out, trying to push to stay ahead of him. Now Arel, the first place defender, as Gwen will also pass Offie here, and that means this is now in G1's favor again. Binks is slowly but surely catching up, but that's an outside touch. Arel will have a lot more breathing room now, a lot more space to work with, and this could just result in a draw. All players know their task here is to not lose further time at least. I don't think Binks is going to push for this. I think Arel is going to get to keep his first place here and have it be a draw. Binks getting closer though, and Gwen getting even closer. Great ending by him, but yes, a draw is on the board.
Yeah, I think that's good for BDS. Now, unfortunately, Afia did make that mistake. Arel winning a round though, which is great.
His first round win on the map?
Yeah, his first round win on the map. Great for his stats. That is, I think that's 10 rounds on the map, but he's now 1-1,
yes. English can be a very tricky language with all its small, or might you say, meany differences between words.
Oh my lord.
But alas, we go into the next round here. 5-2 GAMERSFIRST on their own choice, and they're looking to keep that stat up right now with first and second place in the early parts of the round.
I mean, G1 looks like they have this map on lock, honestly. It's just they cannot do these major mistakes that we've seen them do on actually most of the rounds so far. They just have the pace that is unrivaled if they get through the map without a mistake.
Here again, 2-10s, Offie into the wall. That's going to be a bigger lead now as Arel was in fourth. Now coming into third, but still, he has to somehow close this gap or he is getting aced. This is going to be tough into the water part. Gwen not making a mistake here. Taking first place from Binks temporarily, going wide there, so close to the outside corner, still picking up the checkpoint on the outside, and that is going to be the ace locked in. Great times as well, 105.3, 105.4, and an ace. This is very tough to play against.
This is a solid performance from Gwen and Binks, jumping up to 8 points now. BDS has to get 2 separate aces of their own back to back, honestly, and that's gonna not that's pressure.
And so here's where I feel you could improve the G1 model by just
Arel.
Oh, that's tough in such an important round. Offie forced to get first here, but if you take the team GAMERSFIRST and you have these players risk like there's no tomorrow in the first couple rounds on the map, maybe get a couple aces, and then when you have this position, you gotta change your style. You no longer need to sprint, you just need to jog at a controlled pace and get 2 more points.
Like, yeah, as long as they don't get aced, they're gonna win. Like, there's no universe where if they just get first or second, as long as they're not bottom 4, they will win this map, right? Or
so
bottom
you
3 and
need
4.
to recognize that, okay, we have a tremendous lead here. Even if I don't pass Offie this round from Binks, it's still 1 more point gained and 1 left to go.
So if Binks is doing what you're saying, which he should be.
Oh, but they can actually close the map right now. Gwen is passing Arel. Gwen has passed Arel, so if Binks gets past Offie, this is the map right here. Going into the water turn, he gets more speed, but almost into the corner. Still enough, though. And Binks, with that, will take the map together with Gwen. That round, they saw an opportunity, they went for it, and they close out map 1 in style.
They close out map 1 early, and if you see an option to close down the map, you probably should, because you never know. Last time, Big versus KC, we saw KC come back from a 2-7 deficit, so it is possible. So closing out the map, definitely a valid option. It's nice to see G1 with such a demanding start here. Good job as we see some of these replays.
Yeah, it really was a big highlight reel, but this ace going from 5-2 to 8-2 is so crushing. Like, BDS, they can't really do much after that ace took place. But now we go into Vortex. We talked about Pool being a map to look out for Gwen on. This map, pay attention to Offie. I'm going to give you some of his stats. This is quite absurd. He's only played 6 rounds on it. He's won 4 of them. And his average is a 1:05.559. The world record is a 0.2, but before today it was a 0.3, so his average is within 0.2 of the world record. 6 rounds, no crashes, 4 wins. Like, he is very fast in this map.
Let's see if any of them has adopted this bug slide line that we've been talking about so much. We did see it earlier today.
Oh, wow. Oh, no, never mind.
Oh, no, they're all going tight, so it does not look like it's quite there. They probably will be going for the low airtime. Oh, okay, Gwen going very wide, also flying to Narnia. So he's going to be out of it this time, which gives BDS a great opportunity to start off the map with a lot of points here.
Yeah, and again, you see that guy in first? Offie, you're probably going to see him in first a lot of times in this map, unless G1 are able to keep up. I don't think they have the pace on the stats before this map, so they're going to have to show something we haven't seen yet. Offie with a lot of speed. Aurel almost able to get an ace here if he passes Binks, but he has less speed, so he needs something. He crashes out. That could be a draw now. Offie's going to secure first. Did Gwen get the identity right? Is he past Aurel?
No.
Actually,
he is.
Past.
Aurel has reset once again, and that's going to give them a draw. Now, this is one of those times where BDS, they should have capitalized on the fact that one of the G1 players, they were 8 seconds behind. Now, the identity is not trivial. You definitely need to complete it in a... I mean, it's one of the most consistent identities we've seen so far, but it is definitely not easy.
It is not at all, and I mean, the thing is, you have to always respond to how that moving block on the pipe pushes you.
Yep.
And if you miss that adjustment by just a little bit, flick for 1/10 of a second extra, or opposite, that could cost you greatly. And Aurel has missed the first flick here on the first pipe. Looks like 1 second behind the others. So Offie, though he is menacing on this map, he has to play against 2 of the fastest players in the league, and Gwen has a better start than him this time. And he touches.
Offie with a touch.
Ooh, Gwen and Binks now could potentially ace. They are going to be aware of the splits and the situation here. And the only thing that really can stop them is the pipe.
Yes, I mean, they are 1.5 seconds ahead. They should be able to take this down, and an ace for G1 on Team BDS's map pick would be huge. Here, they set up the drift. Now, all they have to do is drive over this pipe without getting flung out here by the moving parts, and it does look like both the G1 players do that beautifully and head into the finish. That's going to be an ace for G1.
Nicely secured, a 105.7 as well. Somewhat fast from Gwen, even when he didn't have to, showing some signs of pace when he needs to in the next rounds, and that probably puts further pressure on Offie.
It does. I mean, Offie could definitely drive faster than a 0.7 though, but he now knows that... Oh, Binks with a huge mistake. That's a full-on respawn. Gwen is going to be alone in the lead. Oh, Rel falling off. Wait, does that give Binks the option to overtake? It does. Yeah, it did.
Oh, and that's actually quite disastrous for BDS, because imagine a scenario where none of them fail to start. This could be an ace for them right back, but here, the best they could probably settle for is a draw, as Offie's just going to try to hold on to first, and Gwen, even though he crashes here, he still has 6 seconds to work with.
Yeah, nah, this is probably what looks to be a decent... Oh. Okay, there's a lot of mistakes coming in this round. Offie is going to be all alone in the lead. He knows this. He knows that he can probably relax a little bit. He still has to get over the identity without making a mistake, and we've seen him make mistakes before on this identity, but... if he saves it a little bit, he sees the difference here in time, the delta down to second place. So I think he's gonna
hold it. You know, the pipe's gonna push you in a certain direction. You counter that movement and you get across. Offie also gonna drop right around a 0.7 of his own, 0.6 actually. So one-upping Gwen a little bit on the pace there, but a draw comes through.
But now, 2 to 5 though.
Yeah, 2 to 5. Bit surprising. Just to touch on that crash you saw from Binks, you might be wondering, God, what an idiot! Why didn't he steer and avoid the checkpoint? The entire start is no steering. You can't really see it, but they're not able to steer until they cross the checkpoint. So they use this moving disc. If you leave it too early though, then you cannot steer the car away from the checkpoint. You are just headed for a crash. You can't avoid.
But all the players, they do so, perfectly here on this round. Gwen getting the lowest amount of airtime, so the higher you jump, the slower you're gonna be because you don't land earlier. You need to accelerate as soon as possible. Gwen and Afi got that the best, and now Aurel is fighting here for last. Gwen straight into the checkpoint again, and Binks is now tasked to try to make sure that BDS doesn't get this ace and equalize the scoreline.
The Afi checkpoint here is mental, Jnic. 30.5, 37.02 without the bug slide line. It's a crazy split. And we saw that world record earlier today from Bren. It could be challenged here from Afi. He has similar checkpoints, just needs to get really good speed in that last drift to beat it. But even a decent drift will hold the lead against Binks here. Looks like he's slightly slower than Binks, but this will be enough speed, and he will bounce the car. And here, actually, pay attention, because suddenly Aurel has passed both Gwen and Binks, and that's an ace. 0.45 from Afi as well.
That is so important for BDS. Jumping back up to 5-5, equalizing the scoreline. They're now back in the game on their own map choice. And this is, like, now they can't afford to make any big mistakes again, but it must be such a breath of relief to get back up there.
Yeah, like, Vortex is supposed to be their stronghold map. This is where they're saying, like, we're playing our best card, you can't beat us here. We're going to take one quick point on the scoreboard. But they almost, like, didn't have it here. Now they're equal on fighting ground, but 2-5 looked very dim for a while.
Oh, yeah, absolutely. But now they're back. They are back, and they are going to show us what they have in store for G1. Okay, Aurel overtaking Binks, though. Gwen and Afi fighting shoulder to shoulder.
They're one car in the bobsleigh. Same line, but Afi got a slow down on the water landing. Gwen pushing ahead. Binks right there, but he slid out.
Oh, he slid out.
And so it is first and fourth, second and third. It's a drawing position right now. And decent pace from Gwen up front, but really, I think he's just going to recognize trying to save the pipe. That's what
you would hope so, but again, the pipe is not trivial. He can fall off, so let's take a look at him. Will he drive over here clean? He did do so. He's going to maintain that lead. First place goes to Gwen. Afi and Aurel on a clean second, driving in tandem there. 100s away from each other, and Binks there 2 seconds behind, but a draw coming in 6-6.
Yeah, and BDS might have hoped to make more of that, but Afi unfortunately getting that slowdown in the water, else they could have taken the lead on the match now. Pretty sure he had the pace to do so. But 6-6 is... Oh, Gwen off the side, getting pushed, not ready for the movement to counter it. And that means another opportunity here in favor of BDS.
This is something they have to take advantage of. So hopefully Aurel or Afi, they will not be doing any major mistakes. Getting first or second would be huge.
Afi going for this low jump once again. Getting that backward landing, getting more speed than Binks, pushing ahead now. Also reducing airtime there, more speed into the bobsleigh then. Can he control the landing though? Getting that stable car and then not sliding out. Beautifully done from Afi. He will now be extending ahead, and Aurel even is not too far away from Binks to challenge that second place, but looks like Binks is getting closer and closer to Afi. He's coming close. It's only a car length. More speed on the drift could deny this opportunity for BDS. It's about equal on the speed, and it might be decided by the racing lines, by the small differences here in the ending. Binks very shaky, flying off. Aurel passing him, an ace for BDS's inbound. 9-6 now.
That is such a huge ace for Team BDS. 9-6. G1 has to ace them back now, but they've made quite a lot of mistakes here on this map, even before the identity. So they need to clean up that mess to come back now. This is a lot of pressure to G1, but it is also Team BDS's map choice. It is the map that they said, we're going to take this quick point, and they're showing us just that they're able to do that.
But I think... Oh, no, the face plant. I was just about to comment on the fact that G1 has to be the most annoying team to face on this spot, because they have the pace to always ace you if they survive a clean run. But here, Gwen crashing out in the start, they're going to see that +9, and BDS here are very likely to take their own map.
+13 now. He's done something else again. So Afi and Aurel, all they have to do is get one of the players into the finish without losing 17 seconds now.
It looks like they have realized the situation is going to be a BDS map win here. Just closing it out of formality. So we will see the two teams take their own maps first. And now we go to Control next, Jnic. And Control is another one of these Gwen maps that he wins most of the rounds he plays on it, and he really doesn't crash. And if Binks is there with him, that is scary.
But when it comes to pace like that, G1 might be one of the best teams to send some of those very, very fast times. But I do think that if BDS can do like they did here and capitalize on the mistakes that might come in from G1, then they're definitely not out of the map.
Yeah, but I mean, it was very, very well fought from both the players. Aurel had a lot of mistakes early, and Offie was able to defend. But I think G1 made more mistakes in the same rounds, right? Where they got aced.
So, there you go. Map number 2 goes to Team BDS, 12-6 here. We're gonna check out some of these replays while we can talk about what is going to happen now here on Control.
We will be seeing Control soon, but here you can see the gifted ace that G1 got to start the game, going up to that 5-2 lead before, importantly, BDS were able to answer back after that mistake from Binks on the pipe. Offie and Aurel passed them, equalized the score, and then took the lead in the game. 1-1. Scores reset on Control, and we'll see what BDS can do. G1, they're an open book on this map, but a pretty fast book.
Well, yeah, but you also gotta look at the fact that Binks has, well, Binks and Gwen has 8 rounds, and Binks has crashed 6 of them so far.
Yeah, Binks has crashed 6, Gwen has crashed 0.
Yeah, so Binks has the slowest median time on this map out of every player in the league. So he's on first now though, but it is the warm-up round. So
yeah, but the thing is, the last time we saw this, it was one of the last maps against Alliance, I believe. And it was a situation where Binks crashed out almost every round, but then Gwen was first almost every round to deny. Yeah. So here we go into this week's match on this map. And we will probably see a similar story that, you know, Gwen is going to try to drive fast, try to be that first place carry for the team, and he just hopes that Binks is not going to crash. That's going to give them most points.
Well, that's the thing. Binks was on first during the warm-up, and if my gameplay has anything to say for it, every time I do good on a warm-up, I'm immediately crashing out on the first round afterwards.
The curse of the good warm-up.
Oh, and there you go. There it is.
Jnic.
It's not my fault. It's the warm-up. I didn't do anything.
He didn't deserve that, okay? He could have blessed anyone else. Reverse blessed, rather, as we see Binks unfortunately crashing out the round after a good warm-up. Wow. Now, will we see the script follow its intended path with Gwen winning the round? I don't know. Aurel and Offie are both close before the control jobs.
Yeah, here we go. Everybody,
oh,
really?
Oh,
that's a Gwen with a mistake. And that might be an ace for Team BDS if they can get this final jump. It does look like both of them are getting over the hump there. And that's going to be Aurel on first, Offie there on second. 3,000 separating the two players. And G1 slowly getting into the finish afterwards. That's a great start for BDS.
And Gwen's first mistake on the map as well so far this season.
And that is going to be 7 out of 9 mistakes coming in for Binks.
Okay, dude. At this point, we stopped counting. You don't have to keep the count of the Binks mistakes.
Well, I mean,
the guy's tried his best here. It's a tough map. We both tried it. Hopefully,
but it is like the reason I mentioned it is also because it is fun, not fun, but you know, what they're thinking is that Gwen has incredible pace on this map, so he can carry the map. But if you don't have both your teammates getting into the finish line in approximately the same time,
lag?
Yeah, yeah, definitely lag. Not because Caster is playing with the keyboard. Then it won't work anyway.
That's true. The formula only works if Binks is there to join Gwen. Offie, though, able to keep up with Gwen, so we'll see who wins this top battle as they have gained about 0.4 of a second against the other two players. Gwen getting more exit speed there out of that no drift block, and that's gonna get him up into first by over a car length before the jump. But here he missed last time, going too low. This time he's on the clear on the first jump, gaining even more time to Offie. Can he land that second jump? The pace is also very quick. Aurel passing Binks there in that battle. Who's gonna get the third place battle? Gwen winning the round, and Binks is there to join him in third.
And that's what we like to see. Binks not making not making any huge mistakes in that. And that is a 110.4. That's 1/10 off of the live world record. So they are definitely driving fast.
Yeah, and before today with Otak dropping the record, it was 39, I think. So very, very close to the top times we've seen in the league. As expected, Gwen in control, very fast, but Offie kept up with him all the way till those jumps.
Now, if you are just joining us, we are watching Team BDS versus GAMERSFIRST. This is map number 3. Each of the teams have won one map. It is on G1's map choice, and Team BDS is currently in the lead.
They are, but the prospects for G1 are looking good here. They got through one, and they can build off of the momentum with Binks not crashing there. Improving the stats a little bit, 7 out of 10. And Offie might get a crash on this tally here, at least a mistake. Able to keep it clean though, away from the walls, but the two G1 players are going over a second ahead now, and they can probably look to save these jumps.
They just need to do, these 2 safe jumps. If they jump high, they're gonna lose like 0.1, 0.2 off of their, time that they could have gotten. But it is safe, and they are far enough ahead to do that. Yeah,
this is a safe end, but look at the pace still. Binks is gonna win this round with a 0.6 safe.
That's a nice safe.
Like if that's your safe time, your actual pace that round is probably close to the record.
And now G1 is back up in the lead, overtaking BDS. BDS had a great start to the map, but that's because they capitalized on some mistakes, including what Binks did. So now GamersFirst, they're pulling up their pants and sitting down at the edge of their seat, trying to focus. Gamer positions are engaged.
Surely, I've seen firsthand, together with you at the Arctic Gaming Experience, we had a good view of Binks when he was playing, and he has this laser focus that if he gets that mode, it is just a treat to watch. Someone fully entranced in the game, just one with the car in every move of this map, and right now, it looks like he's doing it, but look at this lead from Gwen. I am scared for those splits. I don't know the splits, but I just know, feeling-wise, it seems very fast. Watch out for those two young French players who are now, once again, without BDS seemingly making mistakes, over half a second ahead.
Yeah, this is the problem fighting against G1 on this map. It is that if they just drive the pace that they can, if you don't drive close to world record pace, you're not gonna be up there with them. And that's what we're going to see right now. We're going to see Gwen and Binks. They have the option to save the last jump, and Gwen did jump pretty high there in the ending, Binks as well, but it's still a 0.6, 0.7 for Gwen and Binks. That's
with quite the safe ending once again. I mean, it's a treat to watch. They get 2 aces in a row, and what looked pretty dire is now looking very promising for them to take their second map. They need a regular victory.
Just one regular victory for GamersFirst to take home this map. BDS needs to get this ace down, at the very least 1 ace, and it's gonna happen this round.
And you might be looking at this thinking, but how does Gwen gain every single time? What's he doing? What he's trying to do is often just riskier lines than his opponents, like landing so early and then getting all of that exit speed. And now on this downhill, maybe daring to go closer to the edges, closer to the trees here, and then trying to get a very early landing on the platform. Just touching the back wheel, but there the car lifts off, and it's actually Aurel up in first, landing perfectly in that bobsleigh curve, getting a lot of exit speed, and he's on similar splits to those of Gwen and Binks last round, so not to be scoffed at here. BDS have reversed the roles. Binks could maybe catch up to Offie. This is a gap that is manageable with good jumps, and he's actually creeping closer little by little.
It is not all over yet. Binks is going to go for these low jumps, trying to see if he can get up to Offie. Not getting it on the first jump. He is getting closer, though. He might be able to get it on the second jump if he really risks it. Offie also going really low.
That's a good jump.
Not quite enough to overtake, though, and that's going to be an ace for BDS.
Oh, they answer right back. They answer, and they go up to 8-7 now. Very much so in contention for this map win.
Oh, they are, and if they get another ace now, I mean, that's going to be the map for BDS, and it will be huge, because once again, it is G1's map pick, and it is a map that we know that Gwen and Binks have great paces on, especially Gwen with great consistency. So if they see Gwen make any slight mistake, they need to capitalize on that round immediately.
And they have such a daring next pick of braking, where Gwen and Binks are fast, but it's one of the hardest maps, so the consistency factor could be what they're playing to get there. But if they win this, going into braking, they have a massive advantage, I would say. But here, once again, the obnoxiousness of playing against G1 is showing, as this time Gwen does not make a mistake. Aurel made a small mistake in the start, and he's now the closest to denying their victory by 0.4 of a second, and he has to get past both.
He has to get past both of them, because right now GamersFirst is in that ace position, so Aurel has to push it. There's nothing to lose. He just has to full send. He did start accelerating a little bit late, and that might actually give GamersFirst a little bit more breathing room. We're gonna have to see some incredibly risky ending jumps.
It's 0.2 to Gwen. It's 0.2 of a second he has to catch, but that's not enough. He has to catch to Binks, and he lost speed on that landing. G1 with one more jump. Both players making it across the quarter pipe. They're gonna take this map with a 1:10.5 and a 1:10.61. They were pushed to the limit here by BDS, but they still end up on top.
But it was a nice, tight map, honestly. Like, it could have gone either way in the ending. BDS could have gotten another ace, but it did end up going to favor the GAMERSFIRST people, and that is also their map pick, so they're very happy about that.
They started off getting aced with that round from BDS, and it looked like BDS had a really good chance, but then 2 aces in a row, up to 8-4, 8-7 after BDS aced, and finally the win. But Jnic, let's talk about breaking. This is a map I categorize as one of these Gwen mime, like, very weird pace-based maps, but very mistake-heavy, and BDS are picking it into G1.
I think this is a good map to pick into G1 because G1 has incredible pace, but what they also have is they have these risky lines. And this map is a map that, I mean, as much as it you know, gives you a great lead if you go risky, it is so hard. Like if you have a tendency to crash, chances are you're gonna crash on this map.
Yeah, we saw it in the earlier game where Sinners picked it towards Solary and almost snuck out with a win on that one. But here we're gonna see very close rounds as Gwen has the world record on the map, 113.03 rather, and he was driving 113 lows most rounds. But Offie and Aurel are looking to do the same. Aurel is out of this round. Offie though on great checkpoint splits here coming into that last part of the map.
But that's what we're talking about. This map is so easy to make a mistake on. It's so easy to crash out, slide out, bounce out, get in the water. Apparently touch a checkpoint as well. And now Gwen and Binks are looking to get this ace here on the first round of map 4, which is BDS's map pick here on breaking.
But it is also a G1 stronghold map. This does suit them stylistically. They're going to slow down enough. They're going to make sure they get this. No throw! Oh. Hang on! Gwen going too fast in that last corner, and he will be passed by Aurel. Binks also draw. Oh, never mind!
Oh my god, Gwen!
A draw!
Slowing down too much, trying to make sure he gets the turn, and that ends up being, you know, the curse of him getting overtaken. It's actually going to be a draw. What an, I mean, that's not what I expected.
And just to explain what's actually going on here, they have engine off and they have wet tires. You cannot release the acceleration because, I mean, the engines turn off, right? So what you have to do to slow down is drift back and forth and slow down to an appropriate speed. The number you have to hit is right around 350, but even then, you still have to get the timing of the turn right. And if you miss it, you are just headed for disaster.
Yep. And you lose if you try to save it by braking a little bit more, you lose a lot of speed because it's in the engine off, right? So you can't accelerate either. So it's this balance about, you know, risk reward. How much do I wanna keep the speed? I'm gonna lose a lot more speed if I touch a wall. And G1, they're very good at this risk versus reward, but they usually have a tendency to go full risk. And they are in the lead though. They haven't failed it quite yet. They've been in the lead twice in a row going into this final identity.
Yeah, and again, great splits up front. Gwen gonna go for this line where he slows down and then he aims towards the left of the plank right at the end to get a sharper apex. Just optimizing everything he can. Offie trying to pass Binks, but crashes out. But Aurel is able to get past him. And now I think there's 2 respawns, but Offie respawns sooner. So he will be getting that. It's another draw. But same fast winning pace up front.
Honestly, I mean, G1 should have capitalized on this. Like, it's unfortunate that we see so many mistakes in the ending because the ending can be saved. The ending is one of the easier endings to save. You just need to you know, take away enough of your speed to be able to do the turn, right? But these players, they don't. And that's what I talked about, the risk reward. If you slow down too much, you're gonna get overtaken just because of speed. But if you don't slow down enough, you're gonna hit that wall and have to respawn.
And now we need to see clutch pace from Aurel. His best record that he's driven on the servers is a 1:13.58 from last week, and that is not going to beat the 0.3 of the French players. They could very well be getting ace here unless Aurel steps it up 1 notch and tries to match him. Goes for a very tight inside line there, but that's going to push him wide, and he has less speed. Gwen clipping that pillar, though, means Aurel's up to second, but half a second still to catch towards Binks, and Gwen remains third, so this could be a winning round for G1.
It could, and then that means that they can start breakawaying on those points.
Oh, another mistake!
I mean,
Aurel's in first now.
They're not taking advantage of these huge mistakes from Team BDS. Let's see if Aurel can maintain this lead. I think he can. He understands that there was a big mistake, so he just needs this one right-hander. That's a little wider than you want it to be. if you were trying to save it, but he does get that first. It's gonna be another draw. I mean, is that 3 draws in a row?
It is, and I don't think either of these rounds should have been a draw. I think they should have been probably winning rounds for G1.
They should. Like, G1 has...
From the position they have, they should have gotten more points, but BDS is still equal, and they're holding on. And now they need to get a round together, Aurel and Offie, where they both avoid these mistakes, where they both don't crash. Because if they are seeing what we're seeing here, they're seeing, okay, Gwen and Binks, they have one guy, fast guy, but together they're not driving that fast. We can beat these guys.
I think this if they've been trading maps back and forth, they've always been winning their own map choice.
Yeah.
But now this is the chance for G1 to break away and take away a map from BDS. This is definitely where they could do it, because BDS is making a lot of mistakes compared to them picking this map. And GAMERSFIRST, they just need to take advantage of it. They just need to capitalize on some of these rounds. But unfortunately, they've made mistakes on all of the same rounds.
Yeah, it's tough though. It really shows that breaking is chaos. This map, if you pick it, you are picking into volatility, where you kind of, don't know which way the chips are going to land. But right now, this round, all 4 players have made it through. This is going to be a close battle. All the players know that this is one we have to win, because we are all driving clean within 1/10 of a second before the identity. How fast do you dare to go? Do you slow down to 355 and try to push the turn? Do you go to 345, try to save it? Gwen is pushing with a lot of speed up ahead. He's going to go wide, but he still has to set up for the second one. Offie and Aurel are catching up to Binks, but they go wide. Aurel having less speed, but Offie passing at least one to deny the ace. All 3 up there within 800ths of a second, and fast times.
This was a great round. This was a great round. We see all of the players getting through the entirety of the map without any huge mistakes. 0.1 separating the top 3 players. This is what we like to see. This is what we want to see more of.
That was very clean. Not something we... it was a bit of a luxury for being breaking.
Yeah. But here we enter another round. I think BDS, they're getting a little bit worried that G1 might definitely take this, because
that is just so beautiful. The car, when it's flying on a reactor booster, can actually slide, and it can have full grip. And they are smooth steering there to make sure that the car has full grip on the water while flying, if that makes any sense at all. But it's a very precise movement they're making happen.
We've seen mistakes here multiple times. If you end up drifting too far to the left, you're gonna hit that hole, and you have to counter that by drifting even harder. You're gonna lose a lot of speed. Offie and Aurel trying to maintain this first and second position, but Gwen is trying to inch up here on first, and he does do so, overtaking both of the BDS players. And now all of the 4 players, they get into the identity approximately at the same time. Gwen is in the lead. Binks trying to push, trying to get this ace down. Offie needs to deny. He gets such a good right-handed turn, and he might overtake. He almost overtakes for first. Binks gets that first position. Gwen on third. G1 gets the round victory again, but my God, that was a good push from Offie.
And what a change this map took from crashing heaven to this 2 amazing rounds. Binks there able to defend when Gwen lost a bit of speed in that last turn. Offie also valiantly fought to deny any ace from happening. We are seeing a mix-up. These players are now warmed up, I feel like, and playing this map at a world-class level. And then this no slide, you can see it here again. The car keeps full grip, it doesn't slide out, and it accelerates more throughout that entire turn.
Yeah, I mean, is there a way where you could slide and it's faster because you do the turn tighter in the from the beginning?
Yes, some players go very tight with a slide, but they have less speed up the hill, and you get a worse setup, worse gear. So I think overall the no slide line pays off, as we're seeing the players do it here. Offie onto the outside, great splits from him. Again, this is challenging that world record split if you get a great ending from here on out. He has 2 G1 players within 0.2 of a second chasing him down. Gwen got a lot of speed through this section last time. He's doing it here again, catching up to Offie. His lead is shrinking. Both of them now gonna try to attack this turn. The wide setup from Gwen, getting more speed, almost crashing, but he has just enough room to make it through, slowing down here appropriately. Offie's being passed by both the ace, and G1 takes BDS's map to go up to 3-1 in the match so far. Amazing times by both of them.
That is the breakaway in map points that we were waiting for. They've been trading maps back and forth, winning their own map pick, but G1 finally taking a map away from BDS and putting themselves onto match point.
Yeah, but oh my God, they had a lot of stabs at this, and sometimes it looked like they almost stumbled in their own shoelaces, because they had so many opportunities in the first 3 rounds where BDS just barely held on.
Yeah. I mean, they could have gotten this map done earlier if they didn't end up going draws in the first 3 rounds due to those mistakes that ended up coming from both the teams. It was a little bit of a wonky start, but great showing at the ending. The last 3 rounds were just world record pace rounds.
Yeah, now we're seeing a new issue as the map we're on was banned by BDS. So we are going to get that skipped, I think.
Oh, I mean, small technical issues. We're not going to be playing speed.
Imagine the surprise, you ban a map and you see it come back and it's just like, huh, you thought you could ban me?
Oh, yeah, but I guess I don't actually know how they set up the... I mean, is it a server admin that picks the maps after the ban screen?
I don't know,
actually know how it works.
It's been smooth so far. The map we're supposed to see is Airwalk, picked by G1. And since it's G1's pick, they could try to close it out here.
They're also really fast on Airwalk.
They are, and they might not want to see Uffy and Aurel on grip because they were very consistent there.
So an idea that I have right now, since we have a little bit of time to talk about whatever, right, is that if they have this pick ban system already in the game and it's automated, do you think that they could implement that in matchmaking?
Ooh, you want picks and bans in matchmaking?
I want to be able to ban specific maps out of the map
Which
pool.
map, Jnic? Which map hurt you?
Well, specifically,
it's okay. You can talk to me. You can talk to chat now.
Okay, so during this specific season, I don't actually know what I would like to ban. Maybe I would ban map 18.
Map 18. So regular campaign map.
Yeah, regular campaign maps is what I'm talking about.
Okay, so I'm on the tier of ranked above that.
Well, I am as well, but I would still love for the regular campaign maps to be the regular. Like, okay,
I get him the silver elo. That might be a big problem.
Can I ask Chad about this? So I want the matchmaking to just be on the campaign maps. I want 2 matchmaking queues. You can queue up for the regular campaign maps until you reach master, and then a second queue opens up that will be the esport queue that you can queue up and play in if you want to get TMWT points or if you want to qualify for regionals. But I feel like regular matchmaking should be consistent and on the campaign maps.
I feel like they tried that, but the thing that you quickly realize, or at least I realized, is just how difficult these Trackmania World Tour maps. They even have versions of the maps that they call the E maps, E for easy, but they are anything but easy. There is easier, I would say. I think like a better name would be something like simplified, something that makes me feel a bit better about my skill level.
I just think that right now, once you reach gold, you get a full new set of 10 maps that you've never played before, all of which harder than every single one of the black maps, and all of which are being practiced and to an extreme extent by a lot of players. So you effectively hit a wall where once you reach gold, you have to spend like 25 to 50 hours practicing maps you've never practiced before that have no effect on the campaign rank or anything, and just to play more ranked.
Now hear me out on this. What if Jnic, next TMGL season, instead of having World Tour maps, instead of having black maps, the last 5 maps of the campaign are just World Tour maps?
I mean, I still think that's too big of a gap in like from red maps to World Tour maps. I think people are gonna complain that they're
simplified?
not. I don't think people are. I think people are gonna complain about the fact that they can't get author times on World Tour maps.
Oh, well, I don't know if the author map needs to be difficult though.
Well, no, the map is difficult enough in itself.
Okay, that's true. Okay, right. Like, wouldn't a campaign with like an airwalk in it be exciting though?
Well, it would. I think what they could do is they could.
It couldn't be a speed. Okay, it could be an airwalk. I think.
But I don't mind the fact that if they add more maps to the campaign, instead of it just being 25, then after you've gotten author on all 25,
you unlock
the TMGL campaign.
Oh.
And then you have to get those, and maybe you get a skin if you get authors.
Super campaign. I like that.
And maybe you get a skin if you complete all those maps on author. But either way, I still think that those maps are a little bit too hard for consistent matchmaking. I'm the type of player, like, okay, I might get a lot of hate for this, but sometimes I don't mind playing a 20-second white map as a matchmaking match. Because sometimes it's nice to just get a fast map that, oh, okay, all this map is about is about precision and some speed drifting. And if you're good at that, then you're good at that. Nice, you can rise in ranks because you're good at small maps, but you can also rise in ranks if you're good at the 2-minute long 21 map, right? Like people have different skill sets. And I don't mind everything being represented in the campaign. Not everything has to be super difficult mixed maps.
Yeah, I mean, the thing is, you don't need to size shame a map. A 20-second map can still be a good map, still be good rounds. And the difficulty as well. I mean, the easier the map is,
it's not the length of the map that determines how good a map is. It's also about, you know, how you play it.
So would you call yourself a short king in terms of Trackmania maps? Like the lull king, right? The short king?
Okay, technically, yes, I would say I prefer shorter maps.
Right.
But I don't know if I would call myself a short king. I feel like, I mean, we're almost equally tall. I know we don't necessarily look incredibly tall on camera, but I feel like we have a regular sized person that we're inhabiting, because we're people.
We're very real people.
We're very real people. We understand humans.
We are actually so human right now.
Mm-hmm. Oh, absolutely.
For real. On God. Enough horsing around, guys. Enough joking. We have successfully skipped to Airwalk, and we will take you through that one. The current situation, if you're joining in, is that BDS are playing against G1. The score is 1-3 in favor of G1. So, with one more map here and their own choice, they could close the game.
Now, Airwalk is also one of these very fun gimmicky maps where you bounce on these bouncing blocks. You'll see them right here in the start. They bounce once, jump over, and bounce on another one. Sometimes it looks like all of them, they land with only half their car on the second bouncing block, which sometimes results in getting a small penalty or something.
Yeah, you get a slowdown if you land in a bad spot, but it's the tightest line. And the thing you have to remember is even if the car just touches it once, and if it touches it clean, it will get that bounce no matter what. So this was picked by G1. They played quite well on it in the All-Stars tournament, and also in week 1, I believe, with Gwen and Biggs dropping some 108.5s. It's right around the pace they drive. The world record 108.3, so quite close to that.
So we'll have to see if they do this. We saw a strat by, I think it was KC, where they put their car sideways during the identity to touch the finish line just, a few hundreds faster.
Oh, Warrell on the inside, committing for the turn a bit early, and now we go into that tricky tech slide where you drop a gear if you're not cautious and you want to build speed on the downhill. Binks hitting the corner on the exit of it, leaving it to a 1 versus 1. Gwen versus Uffy, the two main speedsters, I would say, on either team. And now we get to see them battle it out on the Airwalk. This is the identity. You jump onto a bumper and then you bump to this bumper and then to the finish. Now Gwen disappeared, so he made a mistake. That's Uffy winning the round. Is Binks there? Aurel actually took the ace for the team as both G1 players missed that bumper in the sky.
This bumper in the sky. Is that a song?
Castle in the Sky.
Oh, Lucy in the Sky.
Oh, that one too.
With diamonds. I'll remember that. That's a good song.
Yeah.
Solid song.
Great songs about the sky. We also have Moonwalk instead of Airwalk. No, that's not a song. Maybe it is a song.
No, Moonman.
Moonman.
Either way, there was a small sidetrack. We saw Team BDS get this ace in the start, which is really good because this is Gamer's first map pick, and they need to win this. If G1 wins any map from now on, they've taken home the series.
Yeah, so they do build a strong score already, and they, as we have talked about, and I feel like we don't want to repeat ourselves too much, they take advantage of when G1 crash. This is what they need to do. They need to keep that consistency up and hope to see some crashes, because G1 are fully willing to risk corners whether you're there or not. They are pushing for
I'm
fast
surprised that both the G1 players, they missed the identity though. That's surprising to me.
Because, okay, so this identity is kind of deceiving. It looks very difficult to get those jumps, but the bumpers kind of always push you in the right direction if you line up.
And the thing is, they picked the map, so you would assume that they've practiced the identity to an extent where they can do it consistently. What the players
are trying to do is jump, turn a bit left, and then release at the right time so that you land exactly on this. Now it could be
passing off.
Yes, Binks gets sent to the wrong finish line. There's nothing over there.
Full, like that was okay, I don't know what to call that. He must have touched right in between two bouncers and it just double bounced him into the left or so. I don't know what happened.
Now, the interesting thing there, you can't actually get a bumper when you get a double bounce, as you said, forwards. And that's also a very fast outcome. I've seen some clips of that from Gernati, but yeah, very unfortunate. Landing in a bad spot there, and it's 2 aces in a row from BDS.
I mean,
jokes aside, this is very good for them.
That's great for them, but it is also so unfortunate for G1 to get that double bounce to the left. I mean, I don't think he would have won the round, but at least they could have avoided an ace. But it is what happens sometimes. You,
oh my,
that is very close to the corners. They could have clipped easily. Aurel in the back, though.
Yeah, that's a very risky approach. Offie's still holding first here. G1, they just have to think, okay, we got ace twice, but this is our choice. We still have the pace here. Let's deliver. That's what they're going for. Gwen getting a good line there, avoiding the corner as well. In the downhill, now a lot of speed, but you don't want to be too fast here. You can actually be too fast for this. Gwen jumping on the side of the bumper there, and Binks has hit the pillar. So Offie versus Gwen up front. Aurel lying in wait as we go into the first bumper right now.
Don't miss this time here, Gwen.
Offie missed it, and Gwen looks like he's gonna get that jump right, and is Binks there to back him up? Yes, indeed. Okay. So they get some points.
And that's an important mistake from Offie there if you are a G1 fan. So definitely well played from Gwen. I was worried that he was going to fail there in the ending. It was very close. Also, he had a lot of speed going into that middle bumper in the middle of the...
Yeah, that was margins right there. We see a 108.4 as well, so quite close to the record. Well done by Gwen. And now the next round, all 4 players in contention. Looked like Binks made a mistake for a second, but he is still...
But you did notice that Gwen went for the exact same line that Massa went for with the inside drift. Yeah. That saves like 0.1 or something if you get it with the gear.
But I think the risk you're playing there, so the car goes up to the 5th gear when you're fast enough, which they will be after this dirt uphill. And when you're in gear 5, you can downshift to 4th if you lose too much speed. And you're going into a drift where you just want to stay right above that threshold.
Yep. And that's right here.
5. If you gear down here, you are gonna crash. Yep. Because you're not expecting it.
So, well, you're expecting it, but you know it can happen, but you're setting up for a line where if it happens, you're crashing. Yeah. Right? You're setting up for a line that works perfectly if you full steer with this much speed. No. But if you gear down, you lose that speed.
Offie's crash, 2v1 on the identity. Binks going quite far left. He's at the very corner, misses it. Aurel going high. Gwen getting the round win and almost the world record.
Also a great time by Gwen.
Offie's there to get the draw.
I want to see what Gwen does in the identity, because do you notice that he flies straight into the finish? Like, he doesn't hit the roof or anything.
Yeah, he gets a very
clean straight into the finish.
So I think it's a matter of losing just enough speed that the bumper will send you with a perfect full speed trajectory to the finish. Yeah, some players will not release enough, and then the car goes too high, so they have to slow down. But yeah, very tough there for G1. That's a position they're hoping to get a lot more than an ace from, and now 8-3 on their choice. BDS closing in 1 point after another here towards that 10 mark.
Yeah, G1 needs to show us some of those aces that they have in their pocket, because that's what they need to get back up to Team BDS. And if they win this map, this is the map choice of G1, and if they win their own map choice, they take home the entire match. And that's what they're looking to close it out as fast as possible, because next map will be Team BDS's map pick, right? And then it might be a best of 7. Then we might go to map 7 at that point.
Well, the BDS pick is off-road, so not a map that G1 are unfamiliar with. Binks having to release Gwen avoiding the pillar. Looks like Offie will be jumping up to 3rd, and he will indeed. Now the identity, you saw Gwen had a good line last round. Really get that this time, landing very much so on the bumper. Too far on the outside, they were still enough to win the round. Yeah. And they do close the gap a little bit here, but they can't drop a single point now.
Aurel made a mistake in the ending, and he could have gotten first, but did not quite hit the bumper the way he wanted to. So G1 getting a little bit closer, but now it's ace or nothing. It's ace or bust.
Yeah. They have to get 5 points without dropping a single one to win the map. That's not at all easy, and the pace from BDS, the fastest we've seen, I think is right around a 0.5, 0.6 so far. Now, both Gwen and Binks can drive that, but a lot of crashes has come through, especially in that second to last bumper between the pillars. That's the
we've seen multiple.
And the identity. I mean, hey, That's where they got ace twice.
But the crux in the middle of the map is definitely that bouncer. We've not seen them actually crash with the gear here after this turn. You can hear the gear happening on the downhill right here. Boom, there's the gear.
Do you think the reason that G1 are not getting past the bouncer, Jnic, is because they're too young? They don't get let in?
Oh my god.
I'm sorry. Looks like they are doing all right now. The bouncer, though, is there, but he will let them pass. Aurel is just going to try to stay in second to deny G1 from having any chance of the comeback.
I mean, they could get it. They
Gwen on the corner.
So
Binks
close.
on the corner as well, and they will
and
ace.
They do get that ace, jumping up to 8 points.
And what a time. Gwen with a 1:08.22. New world record in the clutch round. 9-8, they have a fighting chance.
And we knew that Gwen was definitely capable of getting that record because he's been driving consistently fast. But jumping up here now, Team BDS is sweating. Now they're sweating because Gwen and Binks drove fantastic times, both of them that round.
Yeah.
So,
and going from 6-0 to 9-8, I'd much rather be the team with 8 points there with the momentum.
Yeah, because of momentum, yeah.
Because you're stressing, you're thinking we are almost letting this lead slip here. But they only need a single point.
Yeah, they just need to not be third and fourth.
Yeah. And even if they lose this round, if they get second and fourth, they will still
go into
draw.
overtime, yeah.
So very important round. All the players know it. G1, if they win this round, they win the entire game. BDS can put it to a map 6, though. Aurel! Oh my god!
Oh, we have a mistake
on the inside.
Afi clipping the inside. And now Aurel has to try to see if he can at least get second. At least get second place.
But the guy behind him is the fastest one of the G1 players on this map, Gwen, who just dropped the world record and has probably a lot of momentum going into this round. Is going to get a good drift. Can they get past the pillars? Looks like Binks going a little bit far on the right side.
Oh, Binks touching.
The pillar, and now Aurel can indeed get that second place, but can he get first?
That's going to be Gwen. He's jumping a couple.
If Aurel gets first, BDS win the map. If Aurel gets first, BDS win the map, and they will win it.
What was that second bounce? What happened?
Just like Binks earlier, Gwen gets sent off to the right side this time.
No, that was the wrong side. The bouncer's it's not pointing in that direction.
Well, if you're 18, the bouncer tends to not let you pass, and here we see it. BDS have ran away with a win on Airwalk. Not something I would predict.
The bouncers are insane. I
mean, who hired these guys? That is...
Oh my god. So, I mean, we want to say that the bounces, I mean, everything in Trackmania is consistent, right? So it's a deterministic game, so if you do the same inputs, you will get the same outputs, even if it doesn't look like it. But sometimes the inputs are so minuscule and different that it's not humanly replicable.
Yeah, like you can land on a sub-pixel off that bumper and get a different outcome. Like that's the problem for the players. Visually, it looks the same. They can do the same setup they've done in practice. But it could also just decide to, you know, fling you to the side if you hit two at the same time.
Yes. I mean, yeah, but why the wrong side, though?
I really don't know. I couldn't tell you. But we are on grip right now. This is BDS's choice. Afi very consistently fast here. Low 101.5.4s.
But Aurel has already made a mistake, so Afi is alone here. His teammate has left him.
The split from Gwen is nasty on that checkpoint. Very fast round to start us off here. He dropped the world record on Airwalk. This is getting up. Up, very close to the world record on grip, but he flies off the track.
Oh,
slides off.
So Binks is now alone. Gwen might be able to overtake because Afi lost so much speed there, but he touches. He's far enough ahead for it to not matter. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. It's fine. Binks can still take the lead. So effectively, if you crash there, the max speed you get in the next turn is still only 200, right? So it's not the biggest issue, but like that's still scary.
My God, Gwen is experimenting with some very risky lines here. Everybody crashed that round.
Yep,
except for Binks. Well, kind of.
He touched, but it's not like it did too big of a difference. It's still fine.
Still all right, but. Very shaky start. The pace, though. The pace has to be commented on. Gwen in that start, I think, did just about everything perfect.
Yeah. No. It was great. The first half was great. And then everybody started to make weird mistakes. But it happens. There's also a lot on the line right now. Gwen did not lose speed there. Very, very lucky that he didn't get an acceleration penalty. Afi did just touch, just kiss the corner there enough for the game to say, nope, we're going to take your speed.
Gets the acceleration penalty from hitting a wall, and that means this car will be about 1 second behind the others, but Aurel is at least in first this round. Here, the water turn, the problem for Gwen is that he steered too aggressively going into it, and then he float up to the surface and also into the sky. Aurel, though, still in first, 2 tenths down to the G1 players, but we saw Gwen risk earlier on, and he might be feeling a chance. Not anymore after that crash, and I think Binks is just gonna accept that this is a draw. Him and his teammate going into second and third there, and they will just take that.
I do want to apologize to you, Virtual, though, because I noticed that I've opened windows and doors in the room, not really caring about the fact that you have a pollen allergy.
No, I'm holding on here, guys. You might hear me coughing and breathing and whatever.
I'm looking at Virtual, and he's struggling.
Allergic to pollen for the entire summer. It's gonna be not Poland. Some people thought I said that. I love Poland. Dobra robota if you're from Poland in chat. But, or that, have you seen the Polish people have just decided one Twitch emote is ours? They spammed that red guy. Blood Trail, I think it's called.
The Meat Boy guy.
Yeah, just the thumbs up in the chat. Like, they've just claimed that entire Twitch emote as their own. I don't know how they did it. Yeah,
I have no clue. But for now, we're going to see Aurel in the lead, followed very closely by Ben and Gwinks.
Ben and Gwinks?
Gwen and Binks. I am sorry. It has been a long day, and it will continue to be so. We still have multiple maps or matches to see here after this one, so stay tuned.
I remember when we had a player called Cap in the league, as well as Pac.
Yeah.
And casting those two together was almost impossible. We will see a very close round here, and a potential ace. Binks going a bit too wide, though, and it's a regular victory, with Gwen taking first, Aurel second, Binks in third, and Offie with that mistake coming in fourth.
I mean, still a victory here for Gamers First, so it's going to put them ahead. And any point they will take that gets them ahead of BDS is an important point. It is BDS's map pick, but it does seem like the teams are very, very similar right now in terms of how many crashes and pace. So it could go any team's way.
It is BDS's choice, as you said. So BDS right now, keeping up. They're at least not down 6-0 on their own map. I think that it's just about as bad as it could go in the first 2 rounds, but could we go to 7? G1 have gone to 7 maps on all of their games so far. Or both, rather.
Yeah, on both of their games, but still, they would love to not go to map 7 for 1 game, because the longer you play... Also, BDS...
BDS are playing a second game.
BDS are playing a second game, and they're already so far into this game. It's going to be a long day for BDS as well. We see 2 mistakes here coming in on round number 4, but Binks and Afi, they are driving clean so far. Binks 0.2 ahead, so he can afford
that could be an ace, that could be an ace, that could be an ace. Gwen is currently just barely able to keep up with Aurel before the ending. Afi has first place on lock, it seems, but Gwen is going to risk that ending. The lines he was experimenting with works to defend here, and they go up to a 5-5.
I think, is that not one of the only times we see people fly out like that?
On the side? Yeah, it's quite rare.
It really doesn't happen a lot.
But you see different preferences in that turn too. So the higher up the cone you drive, the slower you have to go.
Yeah.
So some players will opt to go all the way at the bottom. But then you're also...
Oh, what was that?
Ooh, that was an inside touch from Gwen, and he's not going to make the jump up to the ring. We've seen this a few times from others. And that costs you a full respawn. 4 seconds.
That is a lot of time lost. So Binks is now on the task to try to deny Team BDS as many points as possible. Hopefully he can get up to first place, but he's going to fight it out. There's a lot of pressure on Binks' shoulders right now, and Team BDS, they see that 4-second deficit, which means that they can afford to make a mistake and still be in front of Gwen.
Great pace from Afi up front too. He's finally fighting the rhythm on this map. Had some mistakes earlier, but right now he is really just keeping it clean. No!
Oh!
I promise I did not use any of my casting powers here, but Binks will have the lead in this round, and we might see some more Trackmania if this results in a draw. Binks keeping up that pace, but Aurel on the outside, more speed as we talked about. Can he get that flick on the end? He will not, and Binks takes first this round. Aurel in second. Afi has about 10 seconds to work with, so he will take third.
And I've told you this, it's not like we're cursing anybody, we're just blessing the other team.
You would never want to curse a team in particular.
No, we only bless. Only blesses. Blesses on blesses.
Blesses on blesses on blesses.
Yep, exactly. Thank you.
And I might sneeze soon, so if I could get a bless you in chat when that happens, that would be great. This allergy thing is really
sneezes a minute or two in advance. That's fine.
No, yeah, no, it's like it's been an ongoing thing. I mean, we'll see how long I can keep going without the sneeze. But into the next round, no mistakes, Jnic.
No mistakes in the start at least, so that's great. But I don't think we're...
says no mistakes.
In the entire round? Okay.
Yeah, this one, it says they're going to drive really fast, all 4 players, and it's going to be close.
Here on track 6, round 6. Okay, I mean, we're going to have to see here. No mistakes so far. Alfie in the lead. Does do a little bit harsher of a drift, so the other players might get just a few hundreds closer.
Jesus pace, by the way. I'm just keeping a moment's notice here on the world record from Pack 101.34. Alfie looking to break it, but he has a little bit less speed on the water part. Gwen getting close onto the identity, though. He's going to be put under pressure, and he might be going very fast here onto the 2 side wheels early on. Gwen getting closer still. Last turn off the map. Can Gwen push with that sideline? Risky! Gwen ahead. Sorry, Alfie ahead of Gwen. 101.4 there, but a very fast start to the round.
I mean, that was followed the script. 2 players driving within 0.2 of world record. So definitely a great...
Yeah, Aurel and Binks might not have had the latest copy because they were supposed to be driving faster that way.
No, let's blame the producers on that one.
Blame the players. Why are you not doing as we say?
But that means...
I mean, the players are putting up a fantastic match, so...
So 8-7 right now. BDS just needs a first and a third. They need a round victory. G1 could close it out with an ace. So any mistake right now is crucial. Like, it's huge if we see a mistake. But Gwen and Binks, clean start.
Yeah, great start by both of them. Aurel is far behind in terms of grip, the map. You don't really see that many big mistakes here. 0.4 is going to be tough for him to catch. And Offie even 0.2 behind and... trailing a bit behind Binks is going to be tough. The ace could come through and end the game on the spot. G1, if they are 1 identity away from taking the series against BDS, against the regular season winners of last split, can they do it? Last turn here. Gwen keeping the lead by a lot. Binks, though, is being caught up too, but Offie jumps out.
And they get it!
G1 have taken down BDS and a new record from Gwen in the clutch round.
Wow, what a statement to send. Not only are we going to ace you, but we're going to do so with a world record on top. Taking home the 4th map, G1, the victory over BDS, 4-2, and that's going to be it for this match. What a great showing.
Great from G1. I think a lot of people had BDS predicted, at least in the chat. Rip to your channel points. But G1 came through. They had a lot of crashes, but they made up for it by driving very fast in the rounds they didn't crash and getting aces.
I mean, that's just great. Like, they lost the map to BDS, they lost the map pick to BDS, but then they took BDS's map pick right afterwards. Great showing, but it also shows that the teams, even though they think they can win a map, like, I'm gonna pick this map, both teams have the option to win, right? Like, it's not like they are, it's not like they're dominant. Yeah, it's not like they're dominant. It's just who gets the most consistent great times.
I think what we saw from G1 on Pool was quite insane, and then also Control. That was 2 very good maps for them. Vortex as well for BDS looked quite clean, except for the